Yeah, I'm good.
All right, that's Danny Rap Podcast, Trombone and Reg, back with another vid. This time it's top five artist soundtrack albums, meaning artists that did entire soundtrack albums to movies like Prince, Isaac Hayes, Bon Jovi, people like that. So it's gonna be a quick top five. I never seen nobody do anything like this. I wanted to just, talk about some of the best soundtrack albums done by artists. So my number five is Isaac Hayes with Shaft. This album right here is phenomenal. Did the entire album for the movies starring Richard Roundtree, the OG Shaft. Rest in peace to Richard Roundtree. And we did a dope ass album review on this soundtrack, classic '70s R&B and funk, and it was just great, man. Some of the joints on here, the theme from Shaft, the Bumpy's Lament, early Sunday morning, No Name Bar, phenomenal album, all done by Isaac Hayes, the legend himself. What's your number five?
Um, my number five is Stevie Wonder's Journey Through the Secret Lives of Plants.
Mm,
So technically, this is a soundtrack to a documentary that came out in like '79 called The Secret Lives of Plants. I think it came on like PBS or some shit or some stuff. But
right.
a lot of fans say that this is like one of Stevie Wonder's weakest albums, which I highly disagree. This came out like 3 years after Songs in the Key of Life, so this was not what a lot of people was expecting. The majority of this album was like instrumentals. He does do some singing on certain tracks like Ceremony of Love, Black Orchid, you know what I'm saying? What's that one track? Venus Flytrap and the Bug, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is definitely a nice little New World album and everything like that too. I feel like these days it's more regarded as like a cult classic. So yeah.
Right. I'm gonna pull up the picture real quick. Um, it's two that whole entire soundtrack. Trying to get this shit up on here. Um,
I have a question.
oh, that was. I'm trying to get up the other picture for my shit though.
Yeah, because this I don't think the album cover they it was showing when I was doing the
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, what the hell?
uh,
Yo, StreamYard is bugging.
I swear to God I hate this shit.
StreamYard is tripping, yo. Um, yeah, but it's Young Guns 2, the Young Guns 2 soundtrack, and I didn't even know that he did the soundtrack. I was watching the Bon Jovi documentary, 4 part documentary on streaming, and he was talking about when he took time away from the band, and he went off to do the solo album, and what turned out, I think he had did one song, and they wanted him to do like the whole soundtrack for Young Guns 2, and that was like around the time when he started like trying acting or whatever. He did like a couple movies and shows and stuff, and um I was like, yo, let me check this out, because I never listened to this. I remember watching both movies, but I never heard the soundtrack, and I heard the soundtrack. I'm like, yo, it was pretty good, and it was all done by him, and he came out with Blaze of Glory. That was like the big hit off of it, and then he dropped Miracle and Never Say Die, Dying Ain't Much of a Living, and it's 11 tracks, and this was dope. I don't hear nobody talk about the soundtrack like that. When it comes to Bon Jovi, they talk about the group stuff, but this was like a solo album, bro. And definitely did his thing. That came out in 1990 actually. The anniversary coming up for this album. So that was like that's my number four.
I gotta check that album out.
Yeah.
My number four, you already talked about this album. It's Isaac Hayes Shaft. Very influential album when it comes to all exploitation. Very influential movie. Rest in peace, Richard Roundtree, by the way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just the theme from Shaft alone got a lot of people. I love Ellie's Love theme. Cafe Radio, Do Your Thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this whole album is front to back classic, in my personal opinion. And this was what really, really kicked up the whole blaxploitation soundtracks and the ordeal, you know?
Oh yeah. All right. Three, I got Curtis Mayfield with Superfly, another album that we discussed many years ago, and one of the best '70s soundtracks ever. Great film. So many samples came off of this album. And when the song is like "Freddie's Dead" was one of my favorites, and "Pusher Man," and Eddie, you should know better. Title track, this phenomenal album. You know, Ron O'Neal, a legend. Curtis Mayfield, legends. And this had to be on my list. Immediately when I made this list, I thought of this album and another album. Classic.
That's a definitely classic.
Yeah.
All right, my number three. A lot of people might be surprised that this is actually a soundtrack. And I just have to let them know right now, the movie sucked from what I looked up. I've never seen this. It's Earth, Wind, and Fire's That's the Way of the World. This came out in 1975. So yeah, like I said, this was the soundtrack to the movie 1975. It starred, from what I looked at, it starred like Harvey Keitel, Ed Nelson, and Earth, Wind, and Fire actually plays like fictionalized versions of themselves. I don't know what the hell this movie's about. I've never seen this movie.
I never
You know
seen
what I'm
that.
saying?
I actually got the soundtrack. I got that on vinyl.
Yeah, me too.
I never seen the movie. I gotta check that out. It gotta be.
It's hard to come by.
Hopefully it's on streaming, because streaming with certain old movies they don't have the links to them on streaming.
Yeah, good luck finding that one. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. All right, but back to this album. To a lot of people, one might consider this more like a breakthrough album. I kind of have to disagree on that because I feel like the Open Our Eyes for me, that had joints like Devotion and so on and stuff like that too. This album, yeah, songs like Shining Star,
Yes.
Reasons, Yearning, my favorite track, All About Love. That's a song no Earth, Wind, and Fire fan
Yeah.
talks about. It's
Right.
crazy. It's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even the title track, Hearts of Fire,
Mm.
high and higher.
Classic.
Come on, one of Philip Bailey's beautiful melody. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We've done a review on this album, but I'm actually thinking about re-reviewing this sometime in the future. So definitely be on the lookout.
Hopefully we could do both the album and the movie together.
That's a good idea.
I want to see the film now because Harvey Keitel is a good actor, so he don't do bullshit.
If I can find it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look for it tonight on streaming. Hopefully they got it. I don't know. What year came out? That was this film, right?
Yeah, 1975.
Yeah, I gotta see if they got it. Maybe Tubi has it.
I'll be surprised if they don't have it.
Right? I know. I mean, but Tubi be having like '70s films. They don't have everything though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was surprised I found that John Ritter movie I told you about, Skin Deep.
Yeah, you did ask me about that. I gotta check that movie too. I never saw that one.
Yeah, it's on Prime. It's like an X-rated version of Jack Tripper.
Oh wow. with no Janet and Chrissy.
Not, I actually, I might do a review on that. I'm gonna see if Mike's seen that movie though.
On the show.
Well, yeah, the show that's gonna be far down the line, but the
Right.
movie, I've always fucked with John Ritter.
Yeah, he's good. Number two, I got Batman Prince soundtrack. Great album. Once again, it seemed like Prince made his best stuff with 9 tracks, and this was a great soundtrack. And I remember having the cassette single for Bat Dance when it came out, and that was song was everywhere in the video when the video premiered on BT, and the video was crazy. It was like there's a long version for it, there's a shorter version. Um, this album was supposed to be done with Prince and Michael, and I think Michael turned him down or whatever.
He was torn.
Oh, he was touring. Yeah, yeah. It was supposed to be. I think Michael's gonna do like the Batman songs and Prince do the Joker songs or whatever. That would be crazy.
That would have shut the game down.
Yeah, that would have been that would have changed soundtracks forever. And we still got a classic with this, and I like the fact that like Prince put like the clips of the movie on the soundtrack, and I remember going to see the movie, and it was epic. Michael Keaton to me is still my favorite Batman, and what he did for those two Burton films was just iconic. And Kim Basinger playing Vicky Vale, and
Vicky
Jack
Vale.
Nicholson playing the Joker. Just a great movie. And the songs in the film Scandalous, they played that in the end credits of that movie, and you had Bat Dance and Party Man being played in the film with a Joker running around, and you know what else I liked on here? Lemon Crush Trust was also played in the film, and then yeah, like some of the I think there was like unreleased joints also. Was it 200 Balloons? That was
Ooh.
that was on the B. That was actually on the B side for Bat Dance. But I remember when I got the soundtrack, it wasn't on the soundtrack. I'm like, well, where's 200 Balloons?
Well, the story with that track, that was originally supposed to have been the lead single of the Batman soundtrack.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They felt like Party Man was the best fit, which I kind of grateful.
Right.
I'm sorry, the stream. I'm sorry. Did you hear me what I said?
Yeah. You said you was grateful.
Yeah, I was grateful that Party Man was the first single because I had a more first single vibe. And 200 Balloons was dope, but
Right.
I would not have to put that as a single myself.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like to think of like all the even the unreleased gems on this album that could have been on here. But definitely that's iconic, and it had like the iconic Batman logo, and I got the T-shirt for that too because it was so iconic, and love the soundtrack, man. This is like one of my favorites of them. So rest in peace, Prince.
Yeah, that's an honorable mention. I'm gonna say my thoughts on that one. My number two, to me, I respect the Shaft soundtrack, but this album is the best black exploitation album. To me, I call this the first gangster rap album. If you want to keep it a buck, it's Curtis Mayfield with the superfly soundtrack. I mean, this is definitely the classic album. It gave more conscious tone to like a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? And I love this album. Like Freddie's Dead. Like I know you already talked about this, but Freddie's Dead. I mean, I mean, just that beat. But Pusher Man, come on, man. I'm that nigga in the alley. I was like, it always boggled my mind how like he like for an R&B funky shit like that, he was getting away with like saying nigga and bitch and shit like that. Mind you, he performed this shit on Soul Train.
Wow.
And they play this shit unedited. That was kind of crazy and stuff like that too. Might be the 70s, but shit was wilder in the 70s and stuff like that too. That's one of my joints. But all time favorite song, if I had to pick one, um, Eddie, You Should Know Better.
Yes.
That is,
Yeah.
to me, that is like the perfect tale of a bass head and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that Eddie character, man, he just went through a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I want to also get the 1997 reissue, the 25th anniversary, because that has like more of like the score and stuff like that too. And they have like the Junkie Chase score, which I fucking like that. That dun 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 dun. I love that one. It's too, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Curtis Mayfield, Superfly. I mean, class. I think we've done a review on this album too, so
Yes.
y'all should know.
Yes. And the number one for me is Purple Rain. 40 years this year. I
That's my
cannot
number one
believe it.
too.
84. Oh my God. I feel old, man. I was a mere little boy when this came out, and it's been iconic since I've listened to it. This is my first introduction to Prince. Before I went back to listen to Controversy in 1999 and all that early Prince stuff. But this is my introduction, and I cannot. It was perfect timing to be a kid and to listen to a legend like this, and probably his most iconic album, and all the songs on this album. It was every joint was a hit. The movie with Morris Day and the Time, Apollonia, James Williams III, rest in peace. Just iconic. Love this album. Rest in peace to Prince. And this had to be number one, man, because as far as like when we talk about like a topic like this, when it comes to like artists doing entire soundtracks, like he was at the top of the list for me. So rest in peace, Prince.
Definitely. Yeah, rest in peace to Prince too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Purple Rain. That's like one of those mega masterpieces when it comes to like not just 80s pop, 80s R&B, rock, whatever and stuff like that too. I mean, when Doves Cry, I was that's so crazy not too long ago and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved the part where you get to that part, let's go crazy. That's my
Yes.
always my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
A song that a lot of people kind of don't like, surprisingly, "Take Me With You," which
Wow.
you know why they don't like it?
Wow.
They
Apollonia.
said it was no, not Apple. They said it was too pop and too white.
I mean, he did pop shit too.
He's half white. What the fuck you talking about?
I don't get that.
Anyway, but my favorite track, "The Beautiful Ones." I
Yeah.
mean, that don't even sound like it was made in 1984. That sounds like some trip hop kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And we can't talk about Purple Rain without talking about the Eastside, like 17 Days, Erotic City. Y'all check
Mm-hmm.
out the George Clinton cover of Erotic City too. That's a dope one. What's that one? I think it's called Hello. That was pretty good too. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Purple Rain is the best artist sound, and probably the most iconic artist.
Facts. Right. Yeah. You got honorable mention, right?
Yeah, I have three.
Yeah. I don't got any. So.
um, so I'm gonna probably say Prince's Batman. I
Mm.
was gonna say Prince Parade. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a dope album. But if I was to say it as a soundtrack, it doesn't really have like the same soundtrack feel as like the Batman album and the Purple Rain album. Two in the aspect, a lot of those songs he was doing, it wasn't really for the movie. Like for example, Kiss, that was
Mm.
actually for one of his Maserati and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, the Batman soundtrack, that's just a fun ass album,
Yeah.
in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I first heard the album, I wasn't really feeling it at first. But then over the years, I came to appreciate like Bat Dance, Party Man. Oh my God. My favorite track, Electric Chair. The
Mm-hmm.
Saturday Night Live performance he did on the 15th anniversary.
Right.
Yo, He had Patrice Rushen on the keyboards, for God's sake. That's all you need to know.
Honestly.
Um, my another one, Bob James. This is actually it's like a soundtrack slash score of the show Taxi, the greatest
Okay.
sitcom of all time.
Well,
If you ask me, I had to throw in this album. Um, this actually might be my favorite Bob James album. Pure, late night New York drive, late '70s, '80s, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It came out in 1983, the year and
right,
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because NBC didn't know what to do with it on that. And the last soundtrack I do want to talk about, I'm gonna throw in Simon and Garfunkel's The Graduate soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? I mean, very, very, very dope movie, which I definitely talk about. The soundtrack, it just definitely captures Simon and Garfunkel at their best. To me, everyone knows that song, Mrs. Robinson, which I'm gonna be real with you, I'm kind of slightly kind of burnt out by that song. Not a bad song, but I just hear it everywhere. It's you, Mrs. Robinson. But definitely a last list. I wish I could include more, but there's so many soundtracks I can honestly pick. You know,
I got it. I never saw that. That's the one with Dustin Hoffman. That is on Tubi. I have seen. So I've seen it on the menu. I never watched it though. I'm gonna check that out.
very great.
Yeah.
William Daniels, Mr. Feeney, and the car from Knight Rider was on that show, on that movie too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta check that.
yeah, that's
This
all.
this has been fun. This has been fun. Top 5 artists, soundtrack albums. People. Please let me know your favorite artist soundtracks and favorite songs from those soundtracks. And I'm approaching 300. It's been a long time coming. I'm at 292. When I do when I hit 300, I will be doing a giveaway. It's gonna be something fly, maybe some vinyl, maybe might be some Kanye West slides or something, some easy slides I might give away. But definitely stay tuned. Definitely looking forward to 300 and more down the line. And this was great. I'll be back next week with a live stream with a Rocker Bash. I'll be live next Wednesday at 8 p.m. That's the time that he likes to go live at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. Eastern time. So Reg, you're always welcome to join us. We're gonna be talking about
Okay,
Kendrick and Drake beef and some other stuff. So all the stuff that's going on in hip hop right now. Pete Rock and Common dropping an album on Friday. Eminem dropping his last album. So it's gonna be fun. So stay tuned for that. Um, and yeah, I got some other stuff I plan on dropping this summer. So I'm back. Dropping. You're gonna be seeing me every week on here. Stay tuned. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. And thank you as
right,
always, Reg. We out.
definitely, no problem, bro. Peace.
Peace.